Well, hi, and welcome once again to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. Today is Monday, September 18th. My name is Pete Connor, your show's host. And I'm very pleased to have with me today the interim county administrator, Janice Fransen, who has been with us now for a time, helping the county and the board and staff to make the best out of the situation, as we have not had an administrator for a bit. So we're going to talk with her about her, and we're going to talk about some of her views, her philosophies, and the like, and we're going to take both segments for that. So it should be a great show. We hope you stay with us for that. And as always, we appreciate your feedback, which you see on Owatonna Today. If you have a person, as an example, that you'd like to have aboard for some recognition, or if you have an event that you believe needs some publicity, why don't you let us know of that by shooting an email to owatonnatoday@charter.net, or by giving Leanne, our producer, a call at 390-5751. And now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and then we're going to be right back with Jan and have a nice conversation with her, so please don't go away.
Hi, I'm Brenda with the Mortgage Office of Brenda Bednar, aligned with American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, where closings feel right from the beginning. I'm a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and a hearty welcome to Jan Fransen,
yes,
interim county administrator. Yes. Say it many times, Peter. County, not city. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And thanks for taking the time to be with us. It's I've been wanting to do this now for some time, just to see, because I haven't been by the building at all to chat with you. But so this is a great opportunity for us, all of us, to learn a little bit more about who you are and what you're doing with our county administration and so forth. So
thank you for having me.
Yeah, excellent. As always, with someone who does not make repeat appearances, we'd like to know a little bit more about who you are.
Sure.
And so maybe a bit of a bio from you.
Thank you. I am originally from Kentucky, and made my way to Minnesota with my parents when we moved to Austin.
Oh, wow.
When I was just starting high school. My career, I spent 35 years in government service at the city, county, and state level, eventually ending up in Jackson as county coordinator, where I was for 18 years. I retired from there at the end of 2015. Since then, I've been doing some consulting work, which has included interim administrator work. I previously did a few months as interim administrator in Swift County, which is in west central Minnesota.
Sure.
And most recently, the work here in Steele County.
Good.
My family, I'm married to my husband Steve, and he farms in Jackson County. Our son Sam is 25, and he lives in Minneapolis. He works at a autism therapy center. It's a private center, and he is going to be starting graduate school this fall to further his career.
Nice, yeah. Well, all of those are wonderful things to help with a nuclear sense of who you are. But your pedigree certainly is. You have some depth with respect to public administration and working with public entities. So I think you're looking forward, as obviously you're interim and at the county is wanting to quickly make a decision on the new person. You'll be moving on maybe to do some other work like it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yes, I really enjoy doing this work, and I find it to be fun and challenging.
Good. We talk about challenges, a lot in government work, and it seems like every day it's like turning a page and there's another one that pops up. When you came, and obviously you had some opportunity to do some investigation, look at the profile of the county. What was it that kind of intrigued you to want to do this here in Steele?
I think just the ability to serve the people of Steele County in a way that they really needed at that time, to serve not only the citizens but especially the board and the staff of Steele County. When you spend as much time as I have in working in government, you just have to have that sense of service to the public.
Sure.
And I still have that and want to continue to do that, even though I am retired. It's just doing it a little bit different way. I saw this as a challenge and something to keep me engaged in public service. And so I think it was a good relationship, kind of a win-win.
Yeah.
I could provide this service, and it's providing me with a challenge.
Yeah, some fulfillment that way.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and you occupy an impact job. You make an impact, you know, or whomever sits in the chair.
Yes.
It's an impact position.
It is.
So when you came here, you knew there were going to be things that you had to do, and as you looked at the waterfront, so to say, what were some of the things that you saw as being maybe some of the first challenges or priorities that you were going to deal with?
The first was, I think, to just kind of get things on an even keel. Just kind of take care of some of the fires, so to speak. One of those was the courthouse. Getting that project just kind of, it was moving along just fine, but I think just there were certain aspects of it that maybe just needed to have attention paid and some decisions made. And I think it was more just bringing those decisions to the board and getting the decisions made and implemented. The Public Works Department quickly became something that needed to be attended to, as we had several resignations right away after I started. So getting an interim team in place became my top priority almost immediately after I started.
Right. Okay. You were faced with also working with a board that was 3/5 brand new.
Yes.
And I think all three were, you know, had not had governmental experience per se. So there would probably be some educational opportunities, maybe some facilitation opportunities for you as an administrator, taking from your experience and working with other county boards. Which, you know, in some ways a greenfield is really kind of neat. You know, you can get some things done quickly, but it also provides its own challenge with respect to, you know, understanding and with, you know, maybe statutory kinds of things, you know, process kinds of things.
I think those tend to be kind of the things that need to be learned. But I did find that for a new board, the commissioners were really doing a very good job. They often ask for, you know, is this what we should be doing, or is this the direction, you know, are we doing things okay? But they are. They really kind of got a baptism by fire. They really had to learn quickly what needed to be done as a governing body. And they're using that and moving forward.
Yeah. Well, they all bring their own talents coming out of the various places that they come out of. So there are certain aspects that come from their former careers, let's say, that can be very valuable.
Yes.
In a public office such as being a county commissioner.
Yes.
So that said, I know that there's a committee structure, has been for years, and you're an administrator. How do you see the committee structure in a county, and especially Steele County, fitting in with the whole idea of having a county administrator aboard?
I think the committee structure can serve a purpose. It can help to kind of vet some of the ideas and agenda items that come up from departments, give an opportunity for department heads and other staff to discuss those items before they go to the board. As long as the committees don't become a hindrance. And sometimes that can happen with that if it isn't so strict that everything must go through committee. Sometimes things are more time sensitive and they need to kind of leapfrog the committee and go directly to the board. And you need to have the ability as an administrator to say, make a decision, yes, that item does need to go directly to the board. It can't wait for a committee, or it's just not appropriate to go to the committee.
Sure.
So the board needs to be able to empower the administrator on that.
Yeah, right. So, you know, really, I would assume, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you came, the board presented you with a list of things that it wanted you to deal with for itself. From a priority perspective, what were those things that you were asked to do? I mean, like, I know we talked earlier just about, you know, the maintenance facility and some of the other things happening, but from the board's perspective, because you really work for the board.
Yes.
So, and the board is looking at you as its right-hand person to, you know, so what were the kinds of things that they wanted you to attack, aside from those practical things that we've already spoken about?
One was looking at the structure of the county and whether or not it was the most efficient. Looking at the courthelhouse, that was one of the, we talked about that a little bit before, but looking at, you know, is that moving along and helping those decisions being made. The public works facility, a little bit, although that has pretty much been turned over to the interim public works director, and he's done a just fantastic job of taking that over and bringing that along.
Your visibility,
Yeah.
you know, as an administrator is certainly important, and the board's visibility is important as well. Your particular visibility, the perspective of visibility, suggests that you are going to be available to meet with people. When I came over to the building and to see about you coming on the show, I mean, you didn't tell me that I should have to make an appointment. You were able to see me and talk with me.
Yeah.
So your accessibility, it seemed, you know, would be, I think, important to folks. You know,
I think that's very important. I believe a good administrator should be available to all levels of staff and to citizens at any time. And sometimes you have to, you know, you're maybe going into a meeting or in a meeting and you have to then say, you know, I need to make an appointment with you. But if you're available, why not just meet with someone?
Exactly, precisely.
If it can be handled that way.
Well, good. And, you know, and we're going to come back to it a little bit about schedules and, you know, because you're part-time, but also in terms of structure, I think we'd like to talk a little bit about that, about how the county is organized. We spoke a little bit about it, and then talk a little bit about budgeting and see how that's all going to be playing out as well.
Sounds
so
good.
When we come back, we'll take that on. So for now, and thanks now for staying with us. We're going to take a few minutes for some messages from our sponsors, and then we're going to come back with Jan and continue our conversation. So please stay with us.
Hi, Eric here from Owatonna Senior Place. Participate in one of the many active fitness classes we have, or hop on the bus for one of our great day trips. We have a variety of programs and activities happening throughout the week. Our goal at Senior Place is to create positive moments for you at a reasonable and affordable price. Don't forget the Senior Place Partnership Program, with over 40 businesses giving discounts and incentives to you for being a Senior Place member. Contact us for more details. Live full, live well, live long.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Greetings from the Steele County Historical Society. We invite you to visit us and enjoy your county's history at the History Center and the Village of Yesteryear. Check out our website for current exhibits and our monthly programs.
Hello, my name is Katie Marshall. A year ago, my family and I became homeless. We were scared and alone. Today, with the help of Steele County Transitional Housing and generous donors like you, my family and I are safely housed. I am working, going to college, paying my rent on time. My children have a warm bed to sleep in every night. My family and I are so grateful for this second chance. Please help others in need by donating to transitional housing today. Everyone deserves a safe place to live.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and once again back with Jan Fransen, Steele County interim administrator. I was thinking over the break time is, what turns you crank? What's the most fun part of administration that kind of, gets you going, things that you like to do? If you could push other things aside, this would be the one that would be your apple of your eye.
Well, I enjoy getting to know people.
Yeah.
That's probably number one. But as far as the work itself, I think I like digging into projects like budgets and just really kind of getting in and being able to get into that detail, into trying to find the answer, so to speak.
Sure.
And, for like a budget, trying to find ways to reduce it. So that's the answer for the budget.
Yeah.
So whatever it happens to be, whatever that project is.
Okay. So you work with, a group of people, both elected and appointed. How does that structure work out? You are an administrator, you work at the pleasure of the board, and now you're working with, 4 or 5 elected people in their own right. How does that interchange or those interactions play out? If you're dealing with Sheriff Steele as an example, he's got his own shop.
Yep.
How do you work with that?
It's I see it as providing a service, working in a partnership, and I'm not his supervisor. He, as you said, has his own shop. He's elected. He's elected by the people of Steele County, and I want to just be in partnership with him to provide that service. So it's maybe providing personnel services. It's working with him to have a budget that's going to work for the commissioners, that's going to work for his department. Whatever it takes to make his department run. So you have to really just develop those relationships, especially with the elected department heads, because it's a little bit different than it is with the appointed department heads.
Yeah.
But it's still all about relationships and all about communication.
Right. How closely does the administrator work with, let's say, Human Services, now Min Prairie? What role do you play within that organization?
Although it's a separate organization, I do believe it's still got to be, again, building a relationship and having that communication, keeping them in the loop so that they know what's going on in Steele County, just so they can be informed. And also, so you know what's going on. So as an administrator, I know what's going on with Min Prairie.
Right.
And that means not only attending meetings, and they have joint power board meetings and committees, but also taking the time to maybe sit down and meet with the administrator there. And I also invite the director to the department head meetings, and same as court administrator. That's not a county department, they are state employees, but we also invite them to the department head meetings. So again, it's keeping those lines of communication open.
And that's important to know, is that even though you're administrator of Steele County, there are things that happen in Steele County that aren't necessarily, come under the purview of the Steele County organization.
Right.
Port Services being one of them, Min Prairie being another. So that gives you a little dice in your menu, I suppose, as well.
Right.
With budgets now, you must be underway
Yes.
with budgets now. And are you under the budget constraint? You have to, by November or whatever it is, 15th, have your preliminary in?
The preliminary levy must be set by the end of September.
September, okay.
So we're very close to being at a point of doing that. And that preliminary levy is the not to exceed.
Sure.
So once that's set, it can be brought down, but it can't go up.
And cool. Yeah. How is the process going thus far?
It's going. It's coming along. I think we're at a point that the commissioners are ready to set a preliminary budget, but they're very clear that they want to bring it down more.
Okay. All right. And it always, obviously affects tax policy in terms of what the tax bill is going to look for. And being a rural county, and being a farm person yourself, you have some understanding of what landowners are, why landowners are very interested in what's going on here.
Yes.
Because our ag business population is pretty good size here in Steele.
Yes.
When the hearings are underway, how public are those? Do the folks get to come in? Can members of the public come in to?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah? All right.
Yes.
So you expect that the board is soon going to be establishing that preliminary?
They'll be establishing that at the September 26th board meeting.
All right. Okay. Anything that you can let us know in terms of what you suspect are going to be some changes?
I expect that preliminary levy to be set around 4.8, 4.9%, somewhere in that neighborhood. Again, that's preliminary, and I don't expect that will be the final.
Yeah.
I expect that final to go down.
Okay. The relationship of the county with the state is always interesting. And how do you see? You indicated in your profile that you've had some state experience as well. How do you see the county interacting with the state of Minnesota on various things?
There's a lot of departments that a lot of state departments that various county departments work with. And sometimes that works very well, and sometimes there can be some friction.
Sure.
The commissioners also have a lot of interaction with your state legislators, and that's a very important relationship because there's a lot of laws that affect the county, and sometimes it's important for the county board to have some input on those, and developing those relationships so that when there is something that comes up at the Capitol that may have an effect locally, that the senators and representatives can call back and talk to county board members and the administrator too, and say, how does this affect you locally? And that's a very important relationship.
Right. Now, we sit in Owatonna, which is the largest population center of Steele County. Pushing that whole relationship thing in that direction, how do you see the county working with the city of Owatonna, and then of course to Blooming and Medford and Ellendale as well?
I think that there's some good relationships there. I hope that they will continue to build on those relationships. Owatonna has some really great things going in the way of development, and I think that there are also some great things going on in Ellendale and Medford and all of the cities within Steele County. And I'd like to see, I'm hoping that will continue to grow, that there'll be more collaboration. I'm a firm believer in collaboration between cities and townships and counties, and I really think that you need to rely on each other and work together. I've heard some men wiser than me say that people don't care who plows or what color the law enforcement vehicle that responds to their issue, or who plows their road. They don't care what color it is. That's why it's important that those entities all work together.
Work together, yeah, and help one another
and you can gain great efficiencies by working together.
Exactly, and we didn't mention you did mention township. We didn't really speak about townships, but the very primary piece of government, plays a big role too as it feeds into the county. So, it's a multiplicity of things that the administrator has to do. And,
Yes.
And you're wending your way, and it'll be soon probably over for you, and you'll be on your way to do something else.
Yes.
And well, when that happens, well done. You know, we hope that you will be able to leave here knowing you did a job,
I hope
made
so.
a good contribution. And so I'll say in preface to that, best wishes as to whatever is in front of you. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for being here today.
Thank you.
It's important for all of us to know a little bit more about who we have sitting in the chairs of some power, if you will, some authority. So thanks again. And thank you for being with us today as well. We're going to stay tuned now, I hope, with you having some sponsor messages coming forward, and then we'll be right back for a close. So please be with us.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. Let's take some time for community announcements at this time. Courage Kenny's Rehabilitation Institute, Owatonna Hospital, is offering a free program designed to help older adults manage falls and increase activity levels. A matter of balance, managing concerns about falls includes 8 two-hour sessions for a small group led by a trained facilitator. This class is especially helpful for those concerned about falls, interested in improving balance, flexibility, and strength, who've fallen in the past or who've restricted their activities because of falling concerns. Classes are held Monday and Thursday each week for 4 weeks, beginning today, the 18th, from 10 a.m. to noon at Owatonna Hospital. For more information or to register, contact Greg Lenz at 507-977-2177 or gregory.lenz, L-E-N-Z, at alina.com. The Owatonna branch of the American Association of University Women, AAUW, is sponsoring the 8th annual Taste of Steele County on Thursday, September 21st, 2017, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Owatonna Eagles Club. 11 area restaurants will participate in this event, providing a variety of sweet and savory foods for tasting. All proceeds from the event help fund AAUW educational scholarships for local girls and women, and tickets are available from AAUW members and at Kottke Jewelers. The price is $15 for adults and $10 for children aged 12 and under. Culture Fest will be on the 23rd of September, a day filled with music, demonstrations, food, passport activity stations, and a sporting area. This year, the sporting area is expanded greatly to include hurling from Ireland, curling from Scotland, baseball from Puerto Rico, Shokotan, I don't think I said that right, Japanese-style karate from Japan, as well as Cub from Sweden. There's something special for everyone at Culture Fest. Find them on www.culturefest.org. That'll take care of it for today. On Wednesday, we will have Brett Carlson and Eric Thompson from Ducks Unlimited, as well as Jen Swanson, the new principal at St. Mary's School. Thanks for being with us here today. Look forward to having you back on Wednesday. Please have a good couple of days.